Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 11 minutes after the hour, y'all. A lot was going on. I was talking to one of our Miami listeners on 99 Jam, ran into him, and he was just saying, man, can y'all break down politics just a little bit better? So we're going to make an effort this morning. We got to turn to Glennon Threatt on the phone this morning. We got Special K for the special edition of Rickey Smiley Unleashed. Glennon, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky, and good morning to the radio audience.
Good morning to the radio.
Right. That's old school right there.
Yep.
The radio audience. How are you guys doing?
Live. That's right, live. The radio audience. Glennon.
Yes, sir.
Your boy Rock T in here trying to talk about some of the radio audience.
Rock T know I'm one of his biggest fans.
What's up, Glennon? We're live on the radio show. Taking it to the request lines. Glennon Threatt, you're on the radio. You are on the air.
Glennon, don't let him clown you like that, Glennon.
I love it, man. I love it. I feel the love coming through the phone.
Hey, Glennon, can you break down this? We got Special K here, too. Can you break down this whole impeachment proceeding for those that don't know what's going on? That really don't quite understand it. What's going on with Nancy Pelosi, and can you break that down for us?
I can, Ricky. The most popular misconception about impeachment is that impeachment is not the same as removal. Impeachment is a multi-step process, and only 3 presidents have been impeached. Andrew Johnson in 1868, Bill Clinton in 1998 for stuff that was far less serious than what the current president is accused of. Both of them were ultimately acquitted and completed their terms. Now, Richard Nixon resigned in 1974 to avoid being impeached, and so the way impeachment works is that the House of Representatives will submit articles of impeachment, which is kind of like a charging document or an indictment or a complaint in a criminal proceeding, and it'll basically say what he's done. And so the president can be impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, treason or bribery. And so what they're basically alleging now is that the tipping offense was that they believe that the president committed bribery or either extortion by preconditioning the release of millions of dollars of foreign aid to the Ukraine to force the Ukrainian president to conduct an investigation into a political rival, which was basically Joe Biden's son, Hunter. And so if that's what happened, then in my view, that would constitute bribery. And so the impeachment process would begin by a charging document saying the president did X, Y, or Z. And then the House of Representatives would conduct hearings, and then they would vote. A simple majority could return 1 or more articles of impeachment. If they find him guilty, then that means he would be impeached. Now, being impeached is not the same as being removed. Once he is impeached, then the case would go to the Senate where there would be a trial. He would be prosecuted by members of the House of Representatives that would serve as prosecutors, and the president would be defended by his general counsel or whomever he wanted. And in the trial before the Senate, they would need a 2/3 majority in order to convict him. If he was convicted, he could be removed, and if he was removed after conviction in the Senate trial, there is no appeal. He would be out. And so what has happened in the past is that the 2 presidents, as I said, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, that have been impeached, they were not removed in the Senate trial, and so they were allowed to remain in office after impeachment. And that's the popular misconception that impeachment is not the same as removal.
So, Glennon, what happened with the Senate, the United States Senate? Mitch McConnell had agreed to something as far as the whistleblower. What
has happened is that the whistleblower statute says that the Director of National Intelligence shall, not might or may or can, but shall release a complaint to the Congress. And so what happened is that once the whistleblower complaint was was provided to the Director of National Intelligence, who, like many other officials in our government and the administration now, are acting positions because the president fires people at whim, and then he never replaces them with people that have to be confirmed by the Senate. He just puts acting people in place so that they don't have to go through a confirmation process. So the acting Director of National Intelligence blocked the release of the whistleblower's complaint to the Congress, and that was a violation of the law. And so what they're planning on doing tomorrow is that they're going to do 2 things. One is to release a summary transcript, which is not the same as an actual word-for-word transcript or either a recording of the conversation that the president had with the Ukrainian president. Now, the problem I got with that, Ricky, is that a president that would lie about the weather certainly is not going to release a transcript that could sabotage his presidency.
Wow. So what do you think is going to happen?
What I think is going to happen is that I think the House is going to start an impeachment process, and that's going to result in a trial in the House of Representatives. They're going to get to subpoena witnesses, and it's going to be a huge deal between now and the election. I'm hoping that what it does not do is divert the Democrats' attention away from doing which I think what we must do, which is gathering enough votes, coalescing behind a candidate that can win and winning the election in 2020, because the impeachment process will not, in my opinion, result in removal of the president. I think what it will do is it will create a lot of bluff and bluster and a lot of political drama, but it will not result in being removed from office. And what it will also do is it will allow him an opportunity to coalesce his base behind him, because he can play the part of being somebody that's unfairly accused. And so we got to keep our eye on the ball. This president, if he's ever removed from office, it'll be by an electoral process, not by impeachment.
There it is, y'all. Hey, Special K, you want to add to this?
Man, Glennon said it all. He said it all. He covered all the bases. I think.
Well, you know what, Special K? That is a tremendous compliment coming from you.
Well, yeah, you did cover all the bases. I think the only other good thing that we may have missed is that impeachment process will force all the Senate Republicans to defend publicly on the record all of these flagrant violations that Trump has been accused of.
That's a good point. They can't hide their hands now. They're going to have to step up and say who they support and why. And you're right about that. That's critical, particularly in the election year.
Yep.
Hey, Glennon, we appreciate you, Glennon. And Glennon, who is Glennon talking to, Rock T?
Glennon Threatt is live on your radio. You are officially off the air.